Latest drop of awesome books to review sent to me by Naval Military Press. I tend to review an awful lot of books for them. This isn't a book review, this is just showing you the cool stuff that's come in my box, which I will then look at later. The first and coolest, I think, is this. Look at that. American Jiu-jitsu. Right, it's a small little kind of wallet-sized book. And it has got, it's the, what was his name again? Jorgensen, the Jorgensen method, right? And you've got holds, locks, throws, defenses against knife. You've got grips, trips, throws, strikes, groundwork, all sorts of stuff in this handy little pocket-sized version, vulnerable targets. This is badass. This is really, really cool. So, American Jiu-Jitsu. We've got Ringcraft by Jim Driscoll. Lots of illustrations in here, as you can see. Boxing at the time. Trust me to land on a foul there, kidney punch. But sparring, finer points of the game, working with beginners, lead off, cross counters, you name it. Classic textbook of Jiu-Jitsu by Uneshi. This is quite cool in that whilst it's got big, beautiful images like that, a larger portion of the book uses these kind of film reels here, so you can see the interstitial movements between the throws, which is very, very cool. Often it's very hard to show a throw in photographs. I've got books that I've made with throws in. It's very hard. You've got your initial grip, maybe a bit of a turn, and then splat. It's very, very difficult to capture the stuff in the middle. I suppose that's why I invented films. Some cool stuff from the Marshall Stillman Association. So the first, scientific blows and guards. And again, really kind of cool photography. You can see here slips, strikes, guards, counters, combinations, and the exercises that you'd expect of the Stillman method, which are quite unique and cool. And then also from the Marshall Stillman Association is this: Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, and defenses against attacks. And this is quite cool in that we've got kind of wrestling for self-protection, as opposed to the more academic style wrestling. You know, things that are jiu-jitsu orientated, so you see a bit of a temiwaza here, defenses against knives, all sorts of stuff. Cool little volume. We have got the textbook of boxing by Jim Driscoll. Very, very cool. So we get in this, we get some lovely large photography. We get, again, with all of these endorsed by Champion XYZ, there's kind of their methods, their opinions. Usually they're a bit damning of the boxing of the day. They said boxing was a lot better in their day. They talk about fitness, talk about combinations, their preferred guards, different types of covers, blocks, but very, very cool stuff. We've got Tricks of Self-Defense, a very useful book for everybody, by W.H. Collingridge, and this is quite cool. So again, it's very much a revised version. So Percy Longhurst is used in this. You see holds, trips, throws, locks. Me nearly dropping the book. Hair grab defenses, traditional responses to acts of habitual violence, that kind of stuff. But very, very cool. Also, a lot of fashion swag I'm enjoying there. A couple of interesting ones. Boxing and Physical Culture by an Australian champion called Billy Grime. And this is very cool, just to see a different take, an Australian take on this sort of stuff. You know, Australia, a very big early adopter of boxing. So very cool to see. Billy Graham's method. Like I said, all of these endorsed by Champion X is usually their take. Them bemoaning the culture, them showing what they do, but very cool. This is very interesting. The American Style and How I Learnt It. So this is about how British and European fighters can fight more in the American fashion, and what that means in terms of close-up work, hooks, uppercuts, clinch game, even down to training, sparring methodologies, typical fouls. In fact, the typical American clinch It just shows him ragging his elbow into his throat, as far as I can see there. But yeah, really interesting stuff, the American style and how it is learnt. And then the last, I think this is really cool. First one is the coolest, I will admit, though. Police wrestling. So, Holds, Grips and Falls by Professor Butch and Mike Lacklaw. And you can see here a mix of illustrations. You can see kind of sportive wrestling, and then it moves on through to locks and holds that a police officer might need to use to detain, to hold, to pin, to arrest. But it's very cool to see wrestling taught in that practical self-protection, defensive tactics format. So yeah, there's a couple of books I will be reviewing, doing write-ups on in the future, but very, very cool indeed. But I have to say, the star of the show is this beauty here. This is so cool. Stay safe, watch out for the reviews. Catch you later.